What's up, everybody? It's your favorite oversized accessories favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Masterpiece Bumblebee MP-21. And he comes with what looks like Daniel, but is supposed to be Spike, I believe. We're gonna take a look at him. There's a lot of controversy regarding these two fellas, but one thing that no one, I believe anyway, can deny is the amount of accessories that this guy comes with. So he comes with this guy, who's pretty much an accessory, and we'll get to him in a minute. He also comes with this tire that you can put on the back there, and it has a license plate that you can store inside, and you can put the, now I'm gonna get 8 up here, but you can put the, this is fat finger syndrome right here, you can put the license plate in there, and I'm sure Repros will take care of us there, and you can have the license plate, or you can take the license plate off and you can store the license plate in here, and then you can store this whole piece on here, which is awesome. I love stuff like that. I love when they think about the collector. It also comes with a pistol, which is here, and mine is buggered up, so I'm gonna have to write my dealer and get him to fix it. As you can see, the mold is messed up there. I believe that's not intentional. I'm gonna have to take a look at other people's, I guess, which I try not to do, but I'm gonna have to take a look at other people's and make sure that theirs isn't like that. But either or, this can be stored under here. It clips in between these two black pieces. Apply a little bit of pressure, good to go, which is awesome. In addition to that, he comes with a side mirror and a spare, which I like, and then an extra face, which we'll get into a bit later. Rolls like a champ. The color to me seems a little off. My buddy Greg from Mercy pointed that out to me, and now I can't not see it. Like, it seems a little too mustardy, maybe. Should be a little bit more yellow, and maybe not quite as yellow as Toy World's, but somewhere in between, a happy medium, if you will. Nice Autobot sticker painted there. It's a glossy kind of finish on all the paint here. Pretty nice. I wish they would have tinted the windows a little heavier so that you wouldn't have to see all the bot bits inside. There's a number of different pins that you can see, which is kind of depressing, but oh well. But overall, it's a really good likeness to the real life vehicle, which we're gonna get into a little bit later. But doesn't really strike me as as Bumblebee. The paint here between these two pieces seems a little different to me. It might be because of the materials and how the paint responded to the materials. I may not pick it up on camera, but in real life, it's really close. I don't know if I'm looking too far into it or not. There's underneath again. It doesn't clean up quite as well as your normal Masterpiece, but not hateful. Also, a couple other things I want to point out about this vehicle is it does have some panel gaps, but I think that's just showing up more because of the yellow color. You know, because it doesn't seem excessive, but I can see how it kind of looks excessive, and I think that's just a paint issue, just in the design. Also, real quick, if you wanted to store the spare tire underneath here, you could as well. Still rolls fine, no problem. So that should put it in perspective of how small he is, and he does seem small. Just to give you one more size comparison, there he is next to the roller from MP-10, so just about the same size. It really shows in this mode, how small it is. I mean, that's in my hand, he's a little fella, there's no doubt about it. But yeah, I don't hate this. I know it's popular too, I don't hate it. The wheels seem a little light, the whole piece seems a little light, but the wheels seem especially light to me. And they don't seem really solidly put on. They're not tight. And I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But let's talk about Spike. Spike is getting an awful lot of grief, and I know I'm in the minority, but I don't hate this guy. I really don't. I hate aspects of him. I hate the face. There's literally not an ounce of detail in the face, and he's got the Frankenstein bolt going through the center of his head there. But with this on, it doesn't bother me as much. Still a bother. Articulation wise, I don't think the head moves. No. Shoulders, you kind of get a little bit of a butterfly joint due to transformation. It's on a hinge here, so you get up and down, but you don't get down all the way, which is obnoxious. You get an elbow spin out because of this, and then you get a ball joint here. The socket of this ball joint is far too high, which it makes the ball joint pop off all the time, which is, you know, disappointing and unfortunate. And I just did it again by accident. And then nothing really anywhere else in the hands, and then nothing for the waist. You do have ball jointed hips that do hold well. They're nice and tight, so to speak, and then these flaps move to allow you to get them all the way up. The knees you can kind of get forward, but it's definitely a cheat, but they really bend backward, which is stupid. You can kind of pull off the, so like this is his normal hands, you can kind of pull off like the blaster, you know, like he's shooting, like in the movie, like shooting the Unicron flaps down, and I think that's kind of cool. I think that people were looking at this as a figure, and as a figure, like if you were to, you would never buy this standalone, right? But as an accessory, it's not hateful. You know, the things that are really bothersome about it are the lack of detail in the head, and kind of in all of it, you know, but the lack of detail in the head, and then the ball joint sockets are cut too high. And then as far as this, it's all plastic, but this is a die-cast piece here and 2 die-cast pieces here, which I think if without it, I think this thing might just float away. But as a result, he does stay down to earth, which is nice. And I guess the limited range of motion here is an issue too, but not so much, you know. But the socket joints they're pissing me off already. Scale-wise, there he is with MP Prow, and I don't hate that. You know, I really don't. Here's the Spike and the Optimus, and like he's a little bit bigger in there, but it's pretty much the same, you know. So I don't really hate that. Let's get this guy transformed. I actually really enjoy his transformation. I don't hate this guy. I know it's popular to hate this guy, but I don't. So get the foot out of the way, and that frees these up, which you can then spin around and tab back in, and then move the foot down, and then rotate that around. So same on the other side. Unlock the wheel, spin it around, spin the wheel, bring the foot back. There's kind of some cool stuff. Oh, God. All right, drinking game. You got to take a shot for every time his arm pops off. So, bring that down. And around. Open up his chest here, which is going to defy the laws of physics a little bit. But, you know, it is, I guess, what it is. And I think I just said like so, which is irritating also. And then that tabs up in there. And then you bring that around, and that tabs in there. Oh, I forgot a step. So you got to bring this wheel out, which is a little goofy, but it works. Tab in, close down your chest covers, and there he is. I mean, he rolls. I mean, it's goofy, you know, but it could be worse. Like I don't hate this, and I don't view this as a standalone toy. I view this as an accessory, and for an accessory, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know what people really wanted. The ball joint in the shoulder is a bear, and so is the face sculpt. But outside of that, like I don't hate that. I mean, I know I'm in the minority, and I get it, but to me this is all this is a pistol that does stuff. Now there's your other option. That's the Impossible Toys one, and I will admit the head sculpt on that guy is better. But this is all he does. You got to swivel, 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 and the feet do this. I mean, this thing is a mess in its own right. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, you can do more with that. So let's get this guy transformed. And his transformation, I really enjoy it. I think it's pretty fun. So you kind of got to unlock that bit. That slides down. And then fold this piece up in there, and this is super masterpiecey, and we'll show that how that works in a minute. But we're going to get the legs squared away. So you split them, you bring the thigh up, and that tabs into the knee. I'm not sure if it tabs in, but it definitely locks in. Rotate those up to form his feet. Panel around and around, which is awesome. Panel around and around, also awesome. Feet fold down underneath, and there's his bottom section. When you rotate him up, that piece of that hood slides up in that little cavity, and to me that's what I expect from Masterpiece, little engineering stuff like that. So as far as this stuff goes, this is the one part that I kind of wish was a little bit different, but you kind of got to break these arms out and then slide them around, and it works fine. It's just mine's really tight, you know, better tight than loose, I guess. And then rotate this up. This is where you got to kind of do a little bit of work. Spin this around, give yourself the clearance to fold this in all the way, and then there's a little tab here that tabs into there. Let's see if we can't get the arms out of the way to do that. There it is. And then you just got to clean them up. And we'll talk about that. Oh, that's the part that gets me. We're going to talk about that. Try not to let myself get loose. Spin these around. Spin this. It's easier to do it from the back when you got it open, but not impossible to do it otherwise. And there you go. Not bad, right? Articulation wise, head is on a hinged swivel, which is how I prefer it. It pretty much gets you everything you want in a robot head anyway. Because you don't need really to make his head go side to side, I feel like looking like a confused dog. I don't feel like that's necessary for Transformers, but so I really like that. The head sculpt doesn't bother me as much as in person as it does in pictures, but I am looking forward to an upgrade because there's still something wonky about it. Shoulders are on a ball peg that hinges, so it doesn't hinge any further up, which is kind of obnoxious, but it does hinge down, and then you get the full, you know, ball joint thing there. And they are tight ball joints, so if that's the way they're going to do it, I prefer they do it that way. Bicep swivel, joint is perfectly hidden. Single hinged elbow, nothing for the wrist. And then we've got this bit here, and that is, let's stop. That is what bothers me about this. That is what makes this feel less masterpiecey than usual. That irritates me to no end. I love this figure. I really do. People hate him. I'm not sure why, other than just maybe it's popular to hate, you know, Takara Hasbro products, which I totally understand, but I don't really understand it with this piece. But this forearm bit of business, to me, you know what it's a wet sock. Oh no. A wet sock. It's the worst. It'll dry. It'll dry, it'll dry, it'll dry. It's not that big of a deal. I gotta change. Shout out to Andrew for that one. But, yeah. Hollow, ugly. You've got this thing here, and there was no way to engineer this to cover that up. No swivel. I mean, which isn't a huge deal, because he only has a pistol, and the pistol is held, you know, well, and you can get the, you know, if you want him to be, you know, riding dirty, you can swivel it there at the bicep and get that look or whatever, but just an oversight, in my opinion. Cleans up pretty well. You know, people, like, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was saying that the back looked a little kibbly to me. I think it cleans up pretty well. swivel at the waist, and hips are on universals, non-ratcheted, which give you a swivel at the bottom for the thigh. A knee that, due to our transformation, is double jointed, so you can get everything you want out of that. Ankle tilt, which is somewhat limited but good enough, and rocker, which is somewhat limited but good enough also. I think you'll get every pose you could possibly want out of him. I don't think you'll feel limited. And I gotta say, I like him. Not perfect. You know, I don't like him as much as I like Wheeljack. You can tuck this little bit here into the back if you want to have him all inclusive, but I like him. I like him a lot. This bit here is like an extra, it's like the Happy Face B, and you just pop it off right there and slide it out and then put the other one on. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to keep Happy Face B. I'm going to keep Ready for Action B. There he is next to a Masterpiece car, and I love that. And there he is with Masterpiece Cast. I love it. He is small, but isn't he supposed to be small? And, you know, I'm sure somebody can pull out some chart and be like, no, he's, you know, this and this off, but it feels right. I don't have issue with this. So, final thoughts, here we go. He's not perfect. He's not Wheeljack. If you're looking for Wheeljack, get Wheeljack. On the other hand, this is not trash. He's got his issues. You know, the face looks a little off, but it doesn't look alarmingly off. It doesn't look as off as some people act like it looks. I'm here to tell you, in person, in hand, it doesn't. The forearms are atrocious. I don't expect that sort of lack of attention to a Masterpiece figure. It may be the weakest of the newer Masterpiece releases, like post MP-10, but if MP-10 is a 10, this guy's still 7 at the lowest. Here's the bottom line. Your appreciation for this set is going to come down to how you approach this set. This set is sold and marketed as MP-21 Bumble. They are using Spike to offset the price so that they can keep the price point high. But here's the thing. The way I approach this is I overpaid maybe 10, 20 bucks for a Masterpiece that came with a cool accessory. If you look at this like I am paying $30 for Bumblebee and $30 for Spike, you are going to be disappointed because he's not a $30 toy. But he's a fun accessory for a $60 toy that you feel like you might have overpaid 10, 20 bucks for. And that's how you got to approach it, because this is not a bad figure at all. The transformation's fun, it's intuitive. The articulation works. It has those little Masterpiece accents that you come to expect and that you appreciate and that you want from that line. And then this guy is kind of, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think of it more of like this for the Fansproject slag. He feels like Bumblebee. The paint is clean. I'm not sure if those two tones match in that one area, but it's so close that I'm not sure if my mind is playing tricks on me. Aesthetically, he's pretty much spot on, especially if just from a silhouette position. He's a solid figure. He's 60 bucks, and that's a little high for his size, but I don't have the slightest bit of regret. And I know some people that got him off HLJ for like 45 shipped. To me, that's a steal for this quality of a figure. I think he's good. I think Masterpiece is still ahead of the game. It doesn't mean they can relax. It doesn't mean that these things that I did point out, you know, it's things they got to tighten up on and pay those extra bits of attention so that nobody else comes for the crown. But the crown, I feel like, is still theirs, if only by a little bit. Bumblebee's solid. Spike's a solid accessory. Spike's a terrible figure. Solid accessory. I want to really drive that home because I think people have the wrong conception of him, how they address this whole situation. Bumblebee, on the other hand, is a cool figure. He's a lot of fun. I keep messing with him, with the exception of those forearms. You know, because nobody likes a wet sock. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.